Hi, I'm Maureen Feynman. I'm an associate professor of geosciences, and I'm here. We're going to talk a bit about an art history and geosciences cross listed interdomain general education course, Rocks, Minerals, and the History of Art. I'm here with Heather.
Hi, I'm Dr. Heather McCune Brune. I'm an assistant teaching professor in the Department of Art History. And I've always been interested in the materials of art history and sort of the difficulty factor in transforming those materials into works of art. So that's kind of for me, the impetus of this course. In this course, we are dealing with a whole series of rocks and minerals and their application in works of art, but we decided for the purposes of time to only bring in a few of them here. So I have ochre, which is man's first pigment. And when it's in a fairly soft form, it can be used kind of like a crayon to make marks, or it has to be pulverized and turned into powder, like what I'm spilling here. um, and it's still being used today. It's a very important pigment. I just came back from visiting a bunch of Paleolithic caves in Spain and seeing some of man's first paintings, which was truly amazing. I've also recently visited Carrara in Italy for its marble quarries. And of course, one of the most famous products from Carrara marble is Michelangelo's David.
Okay, and I'll show you a few more over here. One of the other materials we've been working with quite a bit is rock crystal, what a geoscientist might call quartz. And we have some really nice examples. Rock crystal is the name that's given to quartz that is particularly clear and colorless and transparent, and was used to make objects of what we would today call crystal. So things like crystal vases and goblets and sculptures where that transparency is a desired quality. We've got a few examples here. This is a natural rock quartz. I don't know the exact origin of this, but a lot of rock quartz sources come from the Alps, and the Alps are a place where I've been doing a lot of research recently. And then this is a synthetic quartz. So it's crystalline and has been cut into the shape of a nice scepter there. Somebody was playing around with those in geosciences.
And for quartz, if I can just
Yeah,
interrupt,
please.
it's particularly important in the history of art because its purity and its clarity had a great deal of symbolic value, particularly in Christian works of art. So a lot of times you'll see crucifixes with the cross itself made out of crystal, and that was meant to represent the purity of Christ. They also believe that crystal came from a very pure form of celestial water. And so if Christ is part of the water of life, rock crystal could represent the frozen form of that celestial water.
Okay. And we also have here a couple examples of basalt. This is a piece of basalt from Mount Erebus in Antarctica. And we have another little bit of pillow basalt from Iceland here that was erupted beneath the Atlantic Ocean. And these are commonly used as building stones when hard, dark rock material was desired, and give a nice contrast between light and dark colors.
And in sculpture, when you do see them being used, particularly in ancient Mesopotamia, the fact that they were so hard had a great deal of value. So the Law Code of Hammurabi, for example, is on a huge pillar of basalt. And it was because that law code was intended to be eternal. It was put onto an expensive imported material. Mesopotamia is an area that doesn't have stone like that. They had to get it from the mountains. And it was meant to represent the eternal quality of that law code.
Good point. So the marble like this here is very susceptible to breakdown by acids in regular rainfall. So sculptures or buildings or gravestones perhaps that have been made, any sort of monument made from marble is susceptible to wearing away over time, whereas something made out of a silicate rock such as the volcanic basalt is much less susceptible to the attack of acid rain and would be much more would be able to withstand the test of time much better. And I guess last I'll just show a little, this is a bit of garnet from Gore Mountain in New York, which is a place in North America where we get particularly large and beautiful red garnets. And these would have been used mostly for decorative purposes in artworks, if you want to say something.
The blood red color of garnet, particularly in Christian periods, so medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque, is often used to represent the blood of Christ. So you'll see reliquaries decorated with garnets or objects for the Eucharist in particular with garnets on them to represent Christ's blood. And it was also a very desirable gemstone for wealthy ladies in Greek and Roman society. So lots of jewelry made from garnets. So this is just a sampling of the sort of materials that we're working with in this course and some of the issues that we're getting into to better allow students to understand the interconnections between art history and geosciences.